at the moment. Aware that the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board,
any country, any nation that has no identity in terms of its citizens and has no address is just available for anything. If an individual in a country has no identity and you have no address, it's a huge problem. Mr. Speaker, this motion is very important, but we might just be attacking the straw man. The responsibility of registering Nigerians belongs to that of National Identity Management Agency. And the reason we will ask is we have the BVN, we have the voters card, and we have a multiplicity of methods of identification. And we just have a couple of people who are going to earn scholarship. And we also have Nigerians who are going to take WAEC. The important thing is, what is the burden? Why are we making it impossible for them to access national identification? Somebody is not doing his job. And we must have to investigate why somebody is not doing his job, Mr. Speaker. We have about 80 million registered voters, and we are talking about a couple of millions that will take WAEC. Why is it possible to create a special purpose channel for young people to register their names, even if it's a temporary identification? We want to know who are the beneficiaries of our Commonwealth. Very important. And there must be an end to every litigation. How come that in perpetuity, for decades, we'll be trying to register Nigerians? 200 million people. There are people who have their registration just by birth. Why is it difficult to do that registration? We have these things in local governments. Is it because it is not operating there? If it is impossible, let the NMC, Identity Management Agency, let them go to schools. Mr. Speaker, they can take this infrastructure to schools. They are going to be taking the WAEC in the next 4 months. If it becomes a condition precedent for people to write WAEC, Mr. Speaker, the locus of registration of citizens has to change to enable young people to go there and register. To enable young people to have it in their schools. During the voters' registration, Mr. Speaker, they were going to schools, they were going to communities. Such a Marshall Plan could be done for this. But to think that in this present age, that we will not know who is writing WAEC, the identity of who is parading our streets, the identity of who is going to benefit from scholarship, is not known to any country that is civilized. So, Mr. Speaker, whereas the intent of the motion is correct, I believe that we will ask the committee that oversights this, that they should investigate why it will be impossible for Nigerian citizens to obtain citizenship registration. I'll report back to the House in the next 2 weeks. Based on that, we have a knowledge-based decision on this. But suspending so moto without this information will be very, very untidy. We need to compel them. There must have to be a benchmark which the agency registering has to meet, and then our citizens in schools have to be available. So I will suggest, and I will support, I'll be against this motion in terms of saying that people should be allowed to go and write WAEC without national ID card. We must compel. or benefit from a scholarship, we must compel the agency to go and get them registered. They should publish where they are going to do that, either in schools or in any particular place. If within a time limit they are not able to get registered, then they should forfeit it, because registration is not rocket science. Temporary ID with their numbers is sufficient. So I will I will suggest that we amend it to say, let the committee investigate it and get back to us so that we have a knowledge-based decision. Thank you very much.